Welcome back. I'm Sam Hedden, and this is Now You Know. We are live at MarsCon 2020 this year, and we get the honor of getting to work with a bunch of amazing guests that they have here at this convention. Right now, we get to sit down with Kathryn Sullivan, a very well-known young adult author, and locally well-known, who has had some very good success with a book called The Crystal Throne, and she does a lot of speaking events with young authors and how they develop and where to go from there. Could you tell us a little bit about your book, The Crystal Throne?
My book, two 12-year-olds are pulled into a magical world. The girl reads fantasy, so she knows what an elf looks like when she meets one, and the boy doesn't believe any of this stuff. Can we just go home now? And then they're attacked by this thing that Peter thinks is a pterodactyl, and the girl's going, no, that's a dragon. No, wait a minute, it's a drake. No, and then they run into the talking horses. By that time, the boy's like, okay, it's the only way we're going to go home.
Well, that's exciting. I think it would imagine it responded well with young audiences. Do you bring that book along when you speak to young adults?
Yes, usually when I go to young writers conferences, I usually have the books for sale they usually have a book fair. And I will basically bring them, because the first version of the book I wrote when I was 14.
Wow.
So that's why I knew I wanted to have talking horses. And it did take a number of years to find a publisher, but when it did, it won an award for Best Fantasy that year, so
wow.
I knew I was on the right track.
Perfect. So you get to spend some time talking with young adults. You started at 14.
Yes.
What's some of the advice you kind of give younger writers?
Be persistent. Keep trying. Keep sending your book out. Write other stories. Keep sending them out, because it's the only way you're actually going to be noticed if you're actually persistent. It took me quite a few years. I had my short stories published before somebody said, oh, I really like your short stuff. Have you written anything longer? Boom, here the manuscript. And it just went from there.
Have you thought of taking the book and turning it into a film script or a TV script at all?
I don't really have the talent for writing that. Back in the early days when it first came out, it was like CG effects is not really good enough for horses, especially talking horses. But now, even with the animation, it would work.
Is it something that you'd potentially think about doing with it?
Not really, because I've been writing other stuff. So right now I'm working on a Colony Planet story. So veering off from fantasy to science fiction. But I do have other stories I keep coming back to, and in that particular universe.
Who is your biggest inspiration for becoming a writer?
Andre Norton, Lord of the Rings with the J.R. Tolkien, because I have elves, I've got horses, I've got a magical ring, so I was inspired by that. I got the bright idea of, I could write this when I was 14 because I'd already read Isaac Asimov's biography. It's like, he was published before he was 18. Oh, of course I'm good. No, that didn't work out. Oh well.
Well, you've obviously stuck with it.
Yeah.
My personal favorite, and I had to buy it when I did research, was Chicks Who Dig Time Lords. Could you tell us a little bit about your Who universe books?
Well, basically, I've got some short stories in the Big Finish Doctor Who universe. So I've written one with Evelyn Smythe, who traveled with the Sixth Doctor. Chicks Dig Time Lords, I have an essay in there. That's going to be as close as I get to a Hugo Award. But the editor did a really good job of collecting all these stories. I wrote more about the fanzine stories and basically getting my start, getting published in fanzines, and then doing some of the Doctor Who stories in particular fanzines too, because BBC is rather strict about who can write in their universe.
Does that mean, do you ever do fan fiction just for fun, or is it something?
Not as much anymore, because I'm trying to get concentrated on the books that are going to be published. But for a long time, early 2000s on, I'd be approached like, could you write something for this particular anthology that's coming up? And I still will do that if people ask me. So I've written a couple, again, another Sixth Doctor story. Way back in the day, I wrote a Fourth Doctor and Leela story. It's like, yeah, it's fun playing around in that universe.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the projects you're working on?
Right now, the novel I'm working on, it's Sullivan Colony Planet, where the girl wants to be an explorer like her grandmother, who was the one who found the planet. And she basically, a meteorite passes overhead, and she and her class are going to find where the meteorite landed. And hijinks ensue.
Well, hijinks are always fun for books. It's always a good thing. If people would like to find your books, where can they find them or purchase them?
Okay. Crystal Throne, I don't know if you
Yeah,
hand them
do
this
that.
way. That way, Crystal Throne. It's from Zumaya Press. It's available at Amazon. It's available at all the usual suspects because Barnes & Noble. It's available electronically as well as paper. I've got a children's picture book from Guardian Angel Press, and that is, again, available from Amazon as well as going straight to Guardian Angel Press. If you're at a convention with me, I usually have my books with me. Short story collection, Agents of Depths and Apprentices, again, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, ebooks, anywhere you buy ebooks, you can also purchase it that way too.
Perfect. Do you have a website that we could find you on if
Yes.
someone would like to get a hold of you?
KathrynSullivan.com is KATHRYN, Sullivan, SULLIVAN.com. And it's got links to all the books.
Perfect. I'm glad that you were able to come down here. I know that you're busy and it must be fun getting to be a guest of honor at the convention.
Yeah, it's still kind of surprising. I wasn't quite expecting that.
Well, it must have been a nice surprise though.
Yes, it was.
Well, that's good. So perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This has been Sam Hedden with producer Andy Watson. And now you know Kathryn Sullivan.
Or you can do it your way first, and then you can do it my way. And then we'll just see which is better.